could not let you go. I know it's been a long time, but I'm calling 'cause I've got to be with you.
First you keep me waiting, won't you let
I've
me
got
know?
to be with you.
Won't you let me know?
I never told you that I love you, 'cause I could never take for granted you'd feel the same. Now I can't take the waiting any longer. I just got to let you know.
First you keep me waiting, won't you
Yes,
let
I've
me
got
know?
to let you know.
Won't you let me know?
So tell me, what do I do if I want to get through to you? No matter how I try, you always keep me waiting.
What do I do if I want to get through to you?
No matter how I try, you always keep me waiting.
Mr. Tony Fulani, let's give him a big applause. And then who keeps him in check? That's right. Awesome. Can I please invite Miss Ndidi Njoku, Chair of the Board of Trustees for AFORD, for her 5 minutes big goodwill message. Is she in the audience? All right. Okay, we're going to win back some time there. Can I also invite, please, the Interim Director of the Royal African Society, our good friend Andrew Skipper, MBE. Let's give him a big hand.
Thank you so much. Committed to working with Nigeria and its diaspora in the UK as part of our mission. I'm very much looking forward to listening and engaging with this summit so I can take this forward alongside our chair and proud Nigerian, Ms. Aruna Ote. Aruna sends her goodwill to the summit. These are challenging times, and it's important that we work together to develop our networks and relationships and to build trust and collaborate, as the gentleman recently did.
If you need to just stand up for a second and just stretch a little bit so you can accommodate more content, you're free to do so. Just stand and, I didn't say go out, I said stand and just stretch.
Or is your legacy going to be that through it all, and all the difficulties and all the hardship or all the opposition that may have come against you, you decided to stay firm to the vision and to fulfill and execute it regardless of what came before you? You stood by the hope of a better tomorrow. So leaders, if you cannot identify who your succession is, then you need to ask yourself, are you truly building a legacy? Will what you have developed and built live on outside of you? Will your impact still speak if you are taken out of the equation? You have the opportunity to impact the heart, soul and minds of individuals, which leads to transformation. And this transformation breeds invested people within the nation. And invested people will carry out succession because they dare to dream and execute. But people who impact the heart, soul and mind of individuals are intentional people. Resources will come and go, but people hold the keys to innovation. So take a look around today at all the people and all the faces and all the hearts who are in this room. Transformation doesn't happen through one man. True transformation, transformation that lasts, transformation that holds legacy, happens through people, with people, because people are the greatest investment. So thank you so much for listening.
just want to mention that I've only just met Emanuela. When you listen to, she's 21. When you listen to her, do we have a future or not? Do we have a future or not? So what she's done today is to motivate us. Let's go and invest and create jobs in Africa and in Nigeria particularly. But today we're focusing on Bauchi State and Katsina State. Bring out all of your projects and please talk to us because we don't want them to travel back to their states empty-handed. We really have to come up with practical ideas and solutions. Many of you have been talking to us about projects that you have. Let's talk about how we can talk to them for ease of business, how they can support you to set up businesses in Bauchi and Katsina State. I'd like to recognize in the room a couple that have played a major role in the diaspora. They have really, and I was privileged to take them and 41 other people from different countries across the CARICOM countries. That's across what we call the Caribbean countries, America, Jamaica, different countries. And we took them to Nigeria in November last year. They are making waves, and I was privileged to have been invited on board of that organization as an advisor on the board of trustees. Here in the room, we have Papa and Mama, Papa Paul and Mama Grace Eganda, Her Royal Highnesses. They flew in from Uganda even yesterday. And when they travel with initiatives, they travel with ideas, they travel with businesses. So it's not just traveling for traveling's sake. And uniting the black community for us to be trading together, to be doing things together. That's what they do regularly. Please talk to them, see how you become part of what we're doing. And I'm taking them to Nigeria again, is it next year? Next year. So we're planning to go back to Nigeria again next year. So do the upper actually. Thank you.
Ready for you now.
We all come together again and say, you know what? We are investing in Nigeria. And what we expect you, the diaspora, to do is bring people that want to invest in Nigeria. And when we did focus on Ondo, after that Ondo had the deep sea port, and look at what is happening there today. And then we've also worked so much with Kebbi, Lagos, and virtually Kwara, virtually every state. So really, it's about making it bigger. So we accept your deal, Tola, and you are promised to support. That's our focus on you. And our focus really is on small businesses. As he said, and thank you for all you've been doing, creating all those jobs, and an amazing guy. He's just been promoted. Let's say congratulations. I wish you all the very best. Just yesterday, I had a good meeting with the Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Mrs. Jumake Oduwole, and we talked about this summit. If she had done earlier, she would have come. But she has promised that she will be here for your next summit. But most importantly, there are plans that the minister has in place for the diaspora and incentives to have you invest more in your country. We talk about remittances all the time. I don't want to overflow it. And thank you for helping the Nigerian economy. Through you, the diaspora, we've recorded over $19 billion in remittances in the last 5 years. And when people tell you it's about being more, sending money through Madam to give IT, this, yes, it's to little things, Medicare, education and all that. Yes, we know that, but it has helped the Nigerian economy. It's more than what you have remitted, it's more than the budget of some states in Nigeria. But we are saying that beyond remittances, you can encourage investment. And as we have heard, it doesn't have to be the big things. You can train people in small businesses. You can build capacity. You can take that little girl or that little business that is just about to start and bring your capacity to train them, to guide them, to help them. You are in the diaspora, so your wealth of knowledge and experience and your skills, we agree, is better than what we probably have back home. So how do we tap into your skills and your resources and your capacity to help Nigeria grow? So you don't have to bring money, but bring your influence and your wealth of knowledge and your passion for Nigeria. With the Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment, we'll be announcing something very soon. Just like Tola, we won't let the cat out of the bag, but it's going to excite you. You know, something to do with the diaspora and investments. And you know what? No matter what, nobody can ignore the Nigerian diaspora. Not anymore. Every state, every ministry, every speech they make, they talk about the diaspora. And guess what? NIDCOM, we're proud to take a bit of credit for that. Because in the last 5 years, we keep telling people the diaspora, the value is immense. The value is important. We cannot grow without our diaspora. India, China, Pakistan, Israel, they don't talk about their development without the diaspora. Nigeria should not be left behind. And I'm glad that what people like Bimbo are doing, we are not being left behind, my brothers and sisters in the diaspora. I want to encourage you. I want to beg you. There are challenging times in our country. We know that. But we have to walk through and overcome whatever challenges we face, along with our President, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who is determined that the welfare of Nigerians will be paramount in whatever he does. You know, it's tough. But like the President himself says, you know, when you're in labor, for those of us women that understand what it is to be in labor, it is a tough pain. But the moment you give birth to your baby, you forget all the tears, and all the pains, and all the sorrow. So we are pregnant at the moment, and we are going to have the same delivery under the leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And as he himself says, whether they are Nigerian in the diaspora or at home, we are one big family, but we live in different rooms. So why don't we see ourselves as that one big family living in different rooms? And for my room, I'm going to knock on your door and say, hey, I have Maggi, but I don't have salt. Can I have it? So let's see ourselves as brothers and sisters working together to build our country. And that's why we are here. I'm sure we all have things to do. And that's why when we have somebody say, let's come together and talk about, he can be somewhere else making money. He can be somewhere else doing other things. But we'll have you coming together and say, well, let's talk as Nigerians. What can we do to make our country better? We have to appreciate you, we have to support, and we have to encourage you. And my brothers and sisters in the diaspora, there are many programs for you. The Diaspora Day is July 25. Please participate. If you can't be there physically, join us online. It's getting bigger and better. We are building the Diaspora Data Portal. I don't have it here, but I'm sure you go online, you say, just register on the portal, this is where I am, this is what I'm doing, so that it's easy to get to know you better. Now, diaspora voting, if it's going to happen, it's important for us to have data. So we are trying to build the data now, so if you go to the portal, just register about your name, what you do, nothing deep. Google has your data anyway. So, register on the portal, we're trying to do that. So a diaspora data mapping so that we can do what the diaspora voting. I'm hoping that the National Assembly will amend the Constitution. But honestly, you guys still need a lot of work to do. To convince them, to talk to your parliamentarians, to appeal to them. We're not saying it should happen tomorrow, but we're saying if you amend the law, it can happen when INEC has the infrastructure to make it happen. But we're hoping that without amending that relevant section, we can't even do anything about diaspora voting. There are still arguments for and against. Oh, are we ready? Are we ready? When are we going to be ready? So part of your agenda, diaspora groups, organizations, let it be an agenda. And let's stop all this fighting each other. In every association, there's a crisis. So let us face it. Whether it's Kanu, whether it's Nido, there are factions. There are some are in court. Nido Africa is in court. Over what? So why don't we set a strong agenda? And the serious people don't join these organizations anymore. I don't think my 21-year-old is in any organization. They just go and do it on their own. So let's put Nigeria first in what we do. You have the Diaspora Commission where you're embassy in Nigeria. And you know that whatever problems you have or challenges, also, we will try to give solutions. We may not do everything, but we try to do our best. So please, get in touch with us at bid@nidcom.gov.ng. We will always reply. If you have something serious to have us work with, we are there for you. You know, we must take Nigeria to where it truly belongs, the top of the mountain. And we're going to do it together. Thank you. We're going to do it together. We're going to collaborate together. And you know, you are the greatest asset that Nigeria has. Human capacity, human resources. I mean, which country has us? Please tell me which country. No, but I'm not even joking. There's no country that has the kind of swag, the kind of personality. What else? Speed.
Talents.
What else?
Talents.
As Nigerians, you know, so let's make the best of it. Let's celebrate ourselves. Let's bring out the best of ourselves. Let's work together to build our country. Because whichever way, home will always be home. So in conclusion, as I round up, I just want to encourage all of you, encourage people. It's tough, I know, getting the funding, getting people to get together, but we're here for you. And by November this year, we want to have even a bigger forum in Nigeria with people leading a delegation of deals from the UK so that we can see on ground and say, Mr. President, look at what your people in the diaspora have done. So let's show you off in Nigeria. It's not enough to do it here. We work together back home in Nigeria with tolerant support. He said to go to fund everything. Where is it?
It's here again. EPRA Global Leadership and Entrepreneurial Summit and Awards 2025. Celebrating excellence in leadership and innovation. Date, 22nd to 26 September 2025. Venue, Oriel Institute, London. Theme, Innovating for Tomorrow, Empowering Global Leaders in Business and Entrepreneurship. Who should attend? Join a dynamic gathering of visionary founders and CEOs, entrepreneurs and industry leaders, economists and investors, policy makers and academics, corporate executives and journalists and other game changers shaping the future. Why attend? Connect with global industry leaders and disruptors. Bring groundbreaking ideas to life. Drive entrepreneurial growth and innovation. Expand your professional network and ecosystem. Secure your spot today. Don't miss this transformative experience. Register now.
I've listened to, especially listening to some of the remarks, some of the good messages. Before I go into what I'm going to be speaking about, let me congratulate the organizers of this event, Mr. Bimbo and his team. Honestly speaking, I met Mr. Bimbo through my auntie. I call her my auntie. I met she called me one day and I told her, listen, there's something happening in London, I think you should go there. I said to her, I don't want to go for a talk show. I don't want to go for this show that people just talk and nothing. I was like, no, go and give me feedback when you come. Then, by the time I came for what you guys did last year, I think I barely finished when I called her and said, Kai, I said, okay, I think these people, they're up to something, just like I told you. And I said to her that, without permission, because she's in charge of the diaspora, without permission, can I go ahead and partner them and see how we can make this bigger? She was like, by all means. So it is on that premise that we reached out to a few states and a few agencies to say, come with us. Come and see what I saw last year. Because when you go and invite people to come, when you go and invite governments, agencies, and states, come and be a partner, if something they are not aware of, they've not been involved in, it takes a bit of convincing. The good thing is that I think I'm seen as someone who likes to perform. So I was able to convince a few of them to come here today. And the title of what I'm going to be speaking about is Nigeria the Eagle. potentials. We keep talking about potentials. Yes, for the successful people out there, UK, Europe, any part of the world, if you have a successful business, come and get a franchise in Nigeria. Come. The government is trying to ensure that we're creating a level playing ground for everyone to thrive. Come and create a job. Take somebody off the street. Come and create a sustainable job. We have a plan. Now, people are saying, come and create a job. He's a government man. He'll come and say all these things, nothing. Now, I'm asking you to come and create a job. Because after being appointed on the 11th of September 2023, till date, with the help of Mr. President and the government, I've led schemes that have created 147,000 jobs. My name is Temitola Adekule Johnson. You can verify some of the things I say to you. Fact check me. 147,000 jobs till date. Our vision is to actually create annually 5,000 jobs in each state. Now, I'm an advisor to the president, but for me, there's a small business in every state. So, as it is important for Mr. President to ensure that we create jobs, so it is also important for the governors. Because all those businesses are domiciled in their different states. You cannot create all the jobs you want in Abuja, for instance. You can't. So there are governors. So the good thing is that we have a scheme called the National MSME Clinic. So we use it to reach out to the different governors to say, Your Excellencies, we as federal government can provide XYZ. Can you meet us halfway? And with that, we'll be able to, as of today, we've launched 13 industrial hubs. 13 different industrial hubs. Now, what is very important is that none of this hub was from the federal government's coffers. None. It was from strategic partnership. The only way to grow any economy is partnership. But this year, the government will look for you. And a few of you in that space, creating and sustaining those jobs. We will be discussing that at more time. We are here to ask you to support us in Nigeria. Support some of the schemes that we are doing. Because one of the greatest issues for SMEs is the rising cost of funds, interest rates. No business can survive on 32%. So what we're now saying is that as a state governor, I'm not a state governor, by the way, as a state governor, if you have given out 2 billion of your money, I have been able to successfully give you a commercial bank partner that gives another 2 billion. We have insured that fund for you. The commercial bank is going to insure by 50%, your state we are going to insure by 50%. So give my SMEs in my state this fund at no more than 10%. If they do not pay, take from my money. And it's a scheme that we think is going to work because it has worked in other places. It has worked in economies that do not even have half of our population. We have close to 34 million SMEs. Well, a report came out sometime last week to say that we lost about 7 million small businesses. Wow. But now, that's relative. If you say we lost about 7 million SMEs, but what you must understand that as a result of COVID, a lot of small businesses scaled up and started digitalizing their businesses. Now, and that is not just Nigeria. Now, there are businesses that have actually realized that they've got greater potential in digitalizing their businesses than just having a cubicle where they go to every day. These things are easier done via internet. So, basically speaking, so when you say you've lost, so is it an issue of people migrated? That's still in the realm of discussion. Anyway, so ladies and gentlemen, this de-risking fund, with this de-risking fund, we are hoping to change the narrative in the small business space in Nigeria. We're hoping to create sustainable jobs. We're hoping to create 5,000 jobs in every state. Beginning this year, that scheme should be launched by May. It should be launched by May. And as I speak to you, we have 27 states that have signed up for the scheme. So it means that there's a rude awakening, even within the state government. Now everybody's coming together, whether federal, state, local. How do you create jobs? Basically. So everyone is coming together. We're hoping that this works. If we can go on this trajectory for at least 2 years, sustain this, then we'll be open to other discussions. What we need is support on training small businesses in Nigeria, especially with regards to digitalization. We want small business owners to be able to sustain their businesses. When you have a business and you do not even know the difference between profit and loss accounts, that business will shut down. You are going to spend what is not your profit. You assume that you've made money. You've not made money. You probably barely just broke even. I mean, I come from a small business space. I tell this story regularly. At some point in my life, I had nothing. I got some loan from a bank, and I saw people eating shawarma. And so what I did was, I knew that everybody sells shawarma, so what would make mine different? And how will I sell? So what I did, I went to 10 different churches. 10 different churches. And I told the pastors that, can I have my stands in your church every Sunday?
Fantastic.
And we're like, what's the name? I'm like, no, I'll have my stand in your church every Sunday. I'll have 2 people making for the public, then I'll have 1 person making for your staff, your workers. So every Sunday, Pashalama stand, every Sunday. My friends call me Sunday morning man. Every Sunday, Pashalama stand. On the average, I used to make close, then I'm talking about 2010, 10 to 11. On the average that time, I used to make close to almost 200,000 every week. Every Sunday. Then I now migrated. I said, okay, this is good. And I went to the clubs and the lounges, and I put my stands there every Friday. Every Friday. So I make money on Fridays, I make money on Sundays. I pay my tithes though, so those things that No, but from then onwards, I was able to build myself a little business empire. I mean, I was not competing with anybody, I just wanted to survive, basically. So I was able to build myself a little business empire. But because I was not a businessman, I went through a lot with some government agencies. So when the Lord presented me an opportunity, when President Buhari appointed me in 2015, the first, I told them that all I'm going to do is going to be small businesses. And they were shocked because they had other portfolios. I said, no, it's going to be small businesses, because I was coming from that space. And it's going to be small businesses. I wanted to talk to the likes of NAFDAC, ITF, Bank of Industry, CSC, and see how we can ensure that small businesses in Nigeria thrive. Ladies and gentlemen, the Nigeria fails or succeeds. It's not only in the president's hands. The president is, at every point in time, somebody must lead. So, right now, he's going to keep doing his best. We, wherever we find ourselves, anywhere in the world, whatever quotes are, whatever you think you can do to make that country called Nigeria a better place. Don't wait for tomorrow, because tomorrow is not guaranteed for anybody.
Yes.
You can't say, oh, you know what, I'll think about it. Maybe on Friday. Don't give you the impression that Friday you'll be here. The good you can do today, you do it today. If you have the capacity to do it, don't steal to do any good. So if you have the capacity to do that, do it today. With regards deal room, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but my auntie, please, you and Mr. Bimbo, is it not high time we bring this gear room to Nigeria?
Yes!
Why I'm saying so is that we've been able to support coming to London, but I think we have the contacts and the sort of capacity to support even bigger if it's done in Abuja.
Makes sense.
And because of this, I am going to be, Mr. Bimbo and your team, I'm saying to you, with Honorable Abike, bring this to Abuja. I will look for those that will support you. States, federal, and small businesses themselves. So the focus should be three-tier: the states, the federal government, and the small businesses. Small businesses must survive. We can't have a nation without small businesses. There are no medium businesses any longer. Don't fool yourself. Small businesses must survive. MSMEs in Nigeria are 20-something million. Almost 98% of them are MSMEs. They are micro. So that's why we need to ensure that people like Ned, Okonkwo, and the rest of them that are trying to ensure that that are diligently ensuring that their businesses are sustained. The government needs to keep supporting them. Mr. Bimbo, sir, I've said something without you being here. I've asked and I'm begging that you should please bring this lovely party to Abuja next year. Please, can you consider it? Bring it to Abuja next year. And aside from that, sir, you see, what you're doing is great. So I think you underestimate what you all are doing because you all are involved. You know, when you're the one doing something, you don't think it's great. But what you're doing is great. You're pulling Nigerians in London to come and do this year in, year out. And you've been doing this since 2013. It is great. It's high time we make this the next big thing. You say it was the biggest thing in 2013. Yeah. Let's go back to being the next biggest thing. We'll be with you all the way. We'll be with you all the way. Ladies and gentlemen, with these few points of mine, I hope I have been able to convince you and not confuse you.
It will interest you to know that until about 17 months ago, I'm still a member of this community, Nigerians in Diaspora. I traveled to Dubai in 2004 and I spent 19 years before I was called last year, 2023 October, to come and serve my father's land. By the grace of God, you will be seen, you will be noticed, and you will be called one day to come and serve your father's land in big capacity. ITF is a Class A government parastatal with a mandate to promote and encourage the acquisition of human capital, to promote skill in technical and management, both in public and private sector. Of course, ITF had programs since 1971 when it was established. Various programs have come and gone. But the government of today, the government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, looked at Nigeria's space and found our artisans still poor. The same artisans that built those bridges in Lagos, the same artisans that built those skyscrapers in Lagos, The same artisans that built most of the buildings you see today in London and the roads you see today in London. But today, you and I know that you want to build your house in Nigeria, you go to Togo, Benin, and other places to import artisans. The president sees this as a big insult. Where are our artisans? What is happening to them? How can we encourage them, Nigerian artisans, to international standard? We went out to the streets to just check what is happening to statistics, and we found out that it is not that Nigerians do not have artisans. We have fantastic artisans in Nigeria. But what is happening? We looked at everything and we came up with a solution. And the solution is the Super Scale Up Artisan Program. What is Super? Super is a program whereby we collect all artisans in Nigeria, old, young, experienced, inexperienced, and intending artisans. We bring them into one hypothetical job. We train and retrain them to international standard in our local languages. Because the fact that you cannot read and write, the fact that you cannot speak English does not make you an illiterate. The Chinese men that come to Nigeria, the Bangladeshis that come to Nigeria, they cannot speak one sentence of English. So why do we push down ours? We train them in our local languages and we give them international certification like City and Guild person in our local languages. So before we train them on their different technical areas, we give them soft training in their local languages. We preach it to them. We don't just teach them to read and write it. We teach them as if we are pastors, we are imams. We change their orientation. We teach them project management. How do you manage your project? If you are putting a button on that clock, you have to use the principle of project management, but this in our local language. We also train and we certify them. We have collaborated with the Chartered Institute of Project Managers of Nigeria to do this. We also give them soft training in quality management. That is one of the reasons why people go out to look for artisans elsewhere. The structure, strong structure and aesthetics. We train them on quality management also in our local language. Apart from this, we also train them on industrial safety. After this, we now go into their technical training where they will get their certificate and then we license them. A situation where all artisans in Nigeria will have their own licensed drivers. That is where we are going, that is what we have started.
I don't know what we were looking for. He just woke me up one day in the morning, we were in Europe, and he said, God said we should go back to agriculture, to Nigeria and do agriculture. Oh, you know how it is. Normally, everybody's always scared of going back home. So I said to him, you know what we're going to do? I love you, there is no question about that. By the way, we've been married for 25 years, I met him to So I said, please, you just go back. Let me stay here and take care of the children. You know I'm a praying woman. I will pray for you, you know. Because I was scared. And later he said, no, that's not the plan of God for a marriage, for husband and wife. So I said, okay, if God told you, he has to tell me also, because what I'm going to put my neck into, I have to be sure. And when there are challenges, I have to hold God to something, a word he spoke to me. So to cut the long story short, a few months after, I prayed about it, God showed me the green light, and then we went back to Nigeria. And I remember the first farming business we did was in cassava, somewhere in Ipokia local government. We are still there today, and we are there as champions. And Dr. Shane Davis, please can you come to my side? God bless you, sir. Thank you very much. size of cassava farm, and there we saw pepper. We knew what it meant to go to Nigeria and start up a business. Everything we left with disappeared. At a point in time, I found myself selling in Lagos just to balance the family, because we had invested a lot in agriculture, and you know how it is, it wasn't coming back so quickly. There were a lot of challenges from the land issue. You purchase land, they want to kill you. You know, even though you have a CFO, like in Yoruba land we say, Afa Jonah and it is when you see the goat you're looking for that you're going to see the mark on it. You know, they want to frustrate you. I'm talking about labor, especially in that kind of business that we went to, which is agriculture. You know, sourcing for laborers to work on your farm is another big deal. Everybody is here sending their children to school to be doctors, to be lawyers, to be this and that. Nobody is actually sending their children to go back to the farms. So how do we source for laborers to work on our farm? But we thank God all those are in the past now. Another challenge we faced was how to sell our produce. By the way, we are producers of the finest. Special respect to Mr. Olu. He's our senior colleague. Alright, so we have in the market today 21 different products, not just food products, but 100% natural products. We ensure that we produce food that are void of any sort of chemicals. And on that table there you see our beans products. Yeah, thank you so much, Atumba. And it's been preserved with the raw pepper from Nigeria. We have this one. It's called extra large wonder. It tastes exactly like pounded yam, but it's nothing made with yam. It's actually a blend of local rice and a ripe plantain, and it's very good for your health. Quite a lot. I'm talking about job creation. I remember in one of our farm locations in Oyo State, around Eith area, I remember we were doing farming, cassava and all that. And at a point in time, we discovered that the men were working, yes. And then, but there was nothing much for the women to do. So we asked them, what do you know how to do? How can we help you? Of course, we also don't have all the money in the world to dash out. So there must be value you can offer so that we can also, you know, be a blessing to you. So they said, oh, they could make locust beans. By the way, the locust beans is here, is the finest you've ever seen. We even went ahead to process it into powder form. So instead of using your normal seasoning cubes, you know, I don't want to call it the name, we call it in Nigeria, you know, but this one is so natural and you can use it for your meals. So we gathered all these women together and we said, okay, you know how to do Iru? Yeah, we are here for you. And then they just started putting the Iru together, you know, process and everything. And that Iru business today generates well over 200 to 300 million naira, you know, that is being used in empowering all those people every year. We really thank God. In the past 18 years, it's been an amazing journey, but we discovered that even though we are trying so much in our own little space, agriculture is still not accepted. Oh, we can sit here all day and talk about, oh, we want to go into agriculture. Someone was telling me, a friend was to start up an agri company in Nigeria, and the first thing I said, is she relocating to Nigeria? Because if you're not, you just made the biggest mistake of your life. You cannot be a farmer in absence. But considering all the challenges that we went through in the past 18 years, 10 years ago, in 2015 to be precise, we decided to create a channel where people can actually, you know, trade back home, get involved in what businesses that are going on back home. After having our fingers burnt, you know, learned 1 or 2 lessons of things to do and never to go into anymore. We provided a platform for people, mostly from the diaspora, because we left. And some of them said, oh, Sheimoji, how are you doing this? We would like to be part of this. And we helped them establish plantain farms, cassava farms, groundnut farms, and we process all these food products and sell to about 200,000 registered members of extra large spread across 14 countries in the world today. Today we are here with our coordinators of extra large farms here in the UK. We have about 4,000 members registered here in the United Kingdom. And next week Friday, we're having our own event, still celebrating passion, what people in diaspora are doing back home. After all these things, we discovered that agriculture is still not where we want it to be. And there is one problem. Nobody really wants to be identified as a farmer in Nigeria. As a matter of fact, when they hear farmer, most times when I have the opportunity to speak at events like this, I introduce myself as farmer, the first question, I'm calling myself something and you're telling me I'm not. And they say, no, you're not a farmer, you're probably a banker, though I was trained as an accountant, out of school and all that. They say, hey, you're an accountant, you're not a farmer. Because they don't expect anybody looking like this to be a farmer. The picture of the farmer you have in your head is the man, the bent, with the hose, very dirty and very poor and all that. But we are here to change the narrative by wearing a new apparel for agriculture in Nigeria. And that is why we have gone ahead to add more value to it. Oh yes, we're into farming. Oh yes, we're into food production. Oh yes, we're into financial literacy campaigns, to people all over Nigeria on how they can do agriculture profitably. But what can we do more? We went ahead. I thought by now, I think we have a video of farm resort. I think it should be played by now. Media team, please help. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, thank you very much. Okay, so we went ahead to establish, out of our 14 farm locations presently, remember we started with 25 acres at that time. So the glory of God today, we can boast of tens of thousands of acres of farmlands, all over. Can we have the audio reduced so you can just have a look? So that's Extra Large Farms and Resorts in Nigeria. It's situated along Otadiroko Road in Ogun State. I think my governor should be proud of us. So Bauchi is here, Ogun State is also here. Okay, so we went ahead and established this resort. It's sitting on thousands of acres of land. It is a farm. In this location you find palm plantations, groundnut plantations, cassava plantations, yam, and different type of things that we farm. We also have an animal husbandry section there, and then we brought fun into farming. What are we trying to do? We want to attract, entice, permit me to use the word lure, people into the farm for something else, and then you now come to the farm and just fall in love with agriculture. We started that in 2023, and the results, the response have been overwhelmingly amazing. From 2023 till date, we've recorded tens of thousands of visitors who come there from schools for their excursions. By the way, school excursion is a major part of the Nigerian curriculum for schools. All schools must go on excursion, and most times they're looking for where to go to. So we bring them to the farm, we open our farms up to them, and surprisingly you hear children not knowing that plantain grows from up. They think they bring it out from, we take them practically to the farm and they see. But at the end of the day, they come into a beautiful restaurant, they can sit down, you're in a farm. You come, to the gym area, you come to the swimming pool area, you are in a farm, mosquitoes are not chopping your head off, There's light, there's electricity, there's water, there's air conditioning, everything that you need is there. So we do a lot of traveling around the world just to see what's happening in every country, how can we bring it back home. So that waterfall you saw just now, we have only one type of that in the whole world, and we saw it in Jordan. And we said, even though there is no rock on our farm, we are going to build one. So we built that, and we made a healing cave in it, and it has a rooftop restaurant as well. It's running with hot and cold water, all artificial. We are also about to build the only and the biggest beach in Ogun State, right inside our farm resort. What are we doing? We are bringing everything entertaining, everything fun, everything that can bring people to the farm so they can have a change of mindset about farming. Listen to me, when people come to the farm for their excursions, corporate companies come for their staff retreats, their trainings and all that, families come for their holidays, the first thing we ask them, would you like to be a farmer? Everybody says, God forbid. But by the time you spend a day or two with us, it is intentional.